This is the first day of our excavation here at Elsyng Palace in the grounds of Forty Hall. We're just starting the work looking for the inner gatehouse of the palace, and we're just beginning the excavation. We're taking the topsoil off to find out what's immediately below it, and we hope that what will be immediately below it is the rubble from demolishing the gatehouse, which happened in about 1657.
We started, I suppose, in 2010-ish, thinking about sort of trying to reconstruct the landscape and the overall layout of the palace, not only where the buildings were, but what they would have been built from and what the sort of architecture would have looked like above ground.
We're right in the middle of the palace complex, and inevitably all sorts of artefacts turn up. Decorated pottery, high status glass, all the way down to the clay tobacco pipes that the ordinary people smoked. But of course, what we really would like to find is the inner gatehouse, to find its plan, hopefully to find some of its walls still standing. That would be terrific.
I would love to see the gatehouse foundations, and that's a really big find for us, and it enables us then to go back to documentary evidence and say, look, we know that's there, therefore this is there, and we can then plan the next few years or 20 years digging around that knowledge. So keep your fingers crossed, everybody. Let's hope that this works.
Obviously the last couple of years we've been trying to find the gatehouse. Hopefully this year, fingers crossed, we will find it. It'd be nice to find something shiny along the way, but we'll see. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about the finds. It's about answering the question that we have for this year, which is about the gatehouse. So if we can find the gatehouse, that'd be great. But yeah, something shiny along the way would be nice.
It's never quite what we expect, and that always is exciting as well. We almost always end up raising more questions than we answer, and that's great.
It's great to be here. We've got many experienced diggers. We've also got an almost equal number today of brand new people who've never dug before, which is excellent, because one of the aims of this is to encourage people who've never had any involvement in archaeology to come and rediscover the Tudor past of the borough of Enfield.
I was looking up digs that were in London, in England, and yeah, coincidentally found this one, which is kind of on my doorstep. I did actually study archaeology at university, and I didn't actually get the opportunity to go on the dig, so this is actually more than what my degree gave me.
I've started to gain a big interest in history, especially local history. Found that Enfield had an archaeological society, which was great. Found that they have digs, especially for beginners, and that's the reason why I'm here today. From the moment I arrived, I was welcomed.
Everyone's been super nice. Everyone's really taken the time to talk through everything with you and like why you're doing it and explain it, and everyone's really knowledgeable.
It's good to dig up the past, really. You learn so much from history, and especially from the people around us here who have so much experience.
I originally joined the society in 1958, 3 years after it was founded.
First dig I ever did was actually here at Elsyng in Forty Hall. I was about 13 or 14 at that time, too young to dig, so us youngsters were given the job of cleaning finds, pottery and stuff on site. In fact, I used to spend every summer I could digging here.
It is fascinating. We're gradually unpicking one of the few Tudor palaces that is actually an open site that can be excavated.
This one we keep coming back to every year and hoping to find a bit more of the palace where we think it should be.
We've had quite a lot of new people this year. I really enjoy watching them learning how to dig and the wonderful joy they get out of finding things.
There is a fascination in finding something that nobody else has touched for the last few hundred years, and the fact you never know what is going to come out.
So this is nearly the end of the first week of the dig, and what we believe we've come across now is not actually the inner gatehouse, but a large moat fronting the inner gatehouse. It would have made a very striking facade. That does mean quite a lot of work because it's a very large moat. It's probably something like 1.5 meters deep. It may be 8 to 10 metres wide.
If you walk down this way, I'm a bit far. You walk a lot.
We're at 40 Hall, the site of Elsyng Palace, or where Elsyng Palace used to be, and brought my 3 kids down here today to have a look at the dig and to take part in some of the activities.
Well, we live quite local, and I don't think you realise what's on your doorstep, to be honest with you.
We ride past here every day and we don't know what's going on under our feet. We're oblivious to it, and it's just great to find out, you know, so much history that's been here before us.
It's really exciting that I got to be part of this project. I was brought on by the Enfield Archaeological Society to develop really exciting, enriching heritage programmes for young people.
It's like a hidden mystery, like under the ground. It's very interesting.
There's something so beautiful about pupils being able to hold real artefacts. It's not seen daylight in 500 years, and just to see their faces light up, I think that was so exciting, and it reminds me why I do my job.
We have been seeing artefacts around here that used to be a palace.
It's so fantastic to be able to show people where Elsyng was. 5 monarchs, 4 Tudors and the first Stuart king, all associated with Enfield, and we don't tell that story often enough.
We live here, we go to school here, we all work here in Enfield, so that history is so important to us.
My son asked me the other day what an archaeologist was, and we just happened to be walking past here, and I said, look, you can meet a real-life archaeologist. So they've come today with their little brushes and sand, and they're having a go and digging up bones and tiles. It's really cute, actually, and it's really inspiring them.
I found it really fun at 40 Hall to see them digging, seeing what they found.
Very knowledgeable, very friendly, and told Demi he's got to be 16 before he can join.
Yeah, he wants to be an archaeologist or a paleontologist.
Lived in Enfield all my life, and kids are now being brought up in Enfield, and to have kind of such history so close to where we live is brilliant, particularly for minds that want to learn. So yeah, we'll definitely be looking to get involved in the future.
I actually wanted to be an archaeologist, and it was really fun watching all the people dig up all artefacts and stuff. It's really fun.
Could be you doing this in a few years then.
Yeah!
You can't move in England for archaeology. We have such a wealth of history, but this one is really important. It's brilliant to see an excavation where people can come and volunteer, they can be taught really well, and they find great things. It's very exciting this year, and what Martin and the team have found this year is the moat is much larger than we thought it would be. In fact, only one side has been found. It's so wide that we've not found the other side yet. And it's great, it's really exciting because the fieldwork that we have now is leading on already into what we can do next year.
We're just about at the end of the excavation now, which, as you can see behind me, was intended to attempt to find the far side of this moat. It hasn't found it, and that tells us that it's a very, very large moat. It's at least 15 metres wide, so it makes a real statement about power. So this year's work, like most archaeology, hasn't produced precisely what we envisaged, but it has produced some very interesting results. So we might have begun looking for the inner gatehouse. What we found is evidence that the inner gatehouse was fronted by this huge moat. So it's been a successful excavation in that sense, and it will lead us on to next year.
It's absolutely vital that we have local archaeological and historic societies. A local society like this can speak to the school children in their area, they can speak to prospective students in a wider area, and they can give them that hands-on experience of learning how to dig.
Absolutely, from day one everyone's been brilliant. Everybody just, you know, pitches in, digs holes, has a good laugh, and at the end of the day go home a bit hot and sweaty. But you know, you feel like you've done a good job and you've met people with lots of common interests. So yeah, it's good stuff.
It is a very supportive, friendly but very professional environment where people learn archaeology the right way with the right sort of friendly support. So yeah, I would say it's a great place to learn. I've learnt a huge amount here.
Everybody's friendly, we all get on and we'll work as a team. It's great fun. People should come and help to find how the past lived.
We're as dysfunctional as a family in terms of personalities. You get everybody here from all walks of life, all different types of experiences. The only thing we are really missing is the younger blood, so that they can get a feel for what it's like to be on a dig, become part of the experience, and experience the excitement of finding something, and sometimes the excitement of not finding anything, but you still go away excited because it's great fun.
Doesn't matter what kind of experience you've got, you can just turn up, get in the trench, everybody pitches in, and everybody just learns from experience. So if you've never dug before, you can get straight in there and we'll show you what to do.
For anybody who's interested in finding out about the history of Enfield, of Forty Hall, Elsyng Palace, I'd say do come along and work with us. It's a great way of investigating your own heritage and realising how important this piece of Enfield was in the story of England.